Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with Carolimas. I'm Ema Cromedy, one half of the dynamic duo. Tamika Jenkins, the other half of the dynamic duo. Today we have our sous chef, Daniel Simmons. So today we will be cooking one of my favorite dishes. It is like 30 minutes or less. Coconut rice with teriyaki salmon bite. I'm going to do it with broccoli, and then we're going to make a sriracha lime mayo to drizzle over the top.
Hey, and I'm gonna let y'all guys know, there's nothing wrong with taking notes.
So I'm going to put my rice on first. We're going to use 1 can of unsweetened coconut milk. So there's a lot of fat with coconut milk. Samika, you want to tell us about that? Not really. She always has like the science. The commentator. Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to use this fat from this coconut milk. We're going to add 1/2 cup water and 2 teaspoons, and we're going to bring this to a boil. And once this comes to a boil, then we're going to add our rice. And this is very important because I've made this a few times and it didn't come out that good. But this recipe that requires you to boil the water and the coconut milk comes out perfect. So we're just going to go ahead and put that on the stove, like a medium heat probably. We're going to go ahead and make our marinade for our salmon. So for the marinade for the salmon, we're going to do a tablespoon of soy sauce. And we need 3. Now they ask for you to use avocado. Avocado, of course, if you're doing healthy, but we're just going to use this olive oil here. And it calls for 3 tablespoons. 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 3/4 teaspoon of ginger powder. I love cooking with ginger. You can tell we sisters. Fresh ginger, ground ginger. I just love the flavor, how it kind of just take your dishes to another level. And it calls for sesame seeds. You can use sesame seeds or not. We're not going to use sesame seeds. And then it calls for a little cayenne pepper to kick it up a couple of notches. So I'm going to just sprinkle a little of that in there. And then I am going to mix my marinade together. And one thing that I didn't mention is I do have my oven preheating. I'm preheating it to 400 degrees because I am also going to cook my broccoli in the oven. I'm going to roast them in the oven, and then we're going to roast the salmon bites in the oven as well. I'm just going to set that to the side. And then, of course, you know, we have a catering company. So typically when we do salmon for events, we trim the salmon. So we're using the trimmed pieces for our bites today because we're not wasting anything.
Right.
So we're just going to do nice bite-sized pieces. And this dish is one of those pretty dishes that you prepare in a bowl and arrange it nicely. So this is approximately about 1 pound of salmon. We're going to take these bites, put it in here with the marinade, and toss them. Make sure they're coated. And the sheet pan, Samika, I'm going to go ahead and lay those out on the sheet pan. Daniel's just going to spread those out for us because you want them to roast and not bake so they're not touching. We'll get that temp up to 500 for the salmon bites. And then the broccoli is already rinsed. I love broccoli crowns. You could buy broccoli flowerets or crowns, whichever one works best for you. And I'm just going to take my kitchen shears. I'm just going to toss it with a little olive oil, salt, and garlic. Kitchen shears are the best thing for me. Like whenever I'm cutting up my broccoli, or sometimes if you gotta snip some chicken, those are good and handy. And I throw these away. Then I'm gonna have you toss these, just pour a little olive oil on it. That's it. And I coat my vegetables when I roast them in the oven with a little olive oil, not butter, but olive oil. And then we're just going to sprinkle a little salt and garlic on it. Pre-season. Some people roast it and season afterwards, but I'm a pre-season. I love anything green. Brussels sprouts. I wanted to get Brussels sprouts, but we had already put out there that we were going to do broccoli. But this will even go well with asparagus or Brussels sprouts. The asparagus you can basically cook the same way. Just cut off the ends of the stems. Cook them in the oven on 500 for like 10 to 12 minutes. I even like to occasionally sprinkle mine for that last 2 to 3 minutes with Parmesan cheese, and they're delicious like that. Brussels sprouts, you can either pan fry them. I actually like mine deep fried. I know it's not good, but I love it like that. Deep fried with a little garlic, salt, and then I'll toss it with bacon bits and drizzle it with balsamic glaze. It is delicious. So we're going to put these in the oven at the same time that we put our salmon bites in the oven. Our milk and water has come to a boil. So we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add a teaspoon of just regular sugar because we don't have coconut sugar. That's coming to a boil. And then we're going to add 2 cups of jasmine rice to this. Remember, I mentioned before at my house I have all sorts of rices like jasmine rice, basmati rice, pot rice, which is water made or blue ribbon, Mahatma, and then we also have parboiled rice as well. So this is jasmine rice. We're going to add 2 cups of rice to our boiling coconut milk and water. And we're just going to mix it. We just mixed it. Just want to make sure that it's mixed well. And we're going to boil this water, the liquid out. And when it gets down, we're just going to simmer it the rest of the way. Because, you know, rice steams. We don't really have a pot for this, or we might, pot lid, we might have to be piece of foil. We're real live, y'all. So while that is going, Daniel's going to go ahead and put that in the oven. Yes. Go ahead and stick it in the oven for me. Let's put a timer on for like 10 minutes. We'll check it after 10 minutes. While that's in the oven, we're going to go ahead and mix our sriracha lime mayo for the drizzle. I'm a sauce person, so like whenever I'm eating, I love to have a sauce on the side, or I like my sauce on it, but I like to control my sauce. Thank you. 1/3 mayo, and then we're going to use 2 teaspoons of sriracha. And this is going to give it the heat. 1 teaspoon of lime juice. I squeeze this fresh lime juice. Whenever I'm cooking, I prefer freshly squeezed juices, especially if it calls for lemon or limes. I like to squeeze my own. And that's it to the sauce. Not enough heat for me. Sprinkle. Let's turn that down, Samika. A little cayenne. And I'm going to add a little more lime juice. So I also want to thin it. 2 teaspoons lime juice. Only because it's still a little stiff and I want it to be a little more loose. So I add it. I'm just going to set that to the side. So we have that. We have our rice cooking and our bites in the oven. We'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, guys, let me tell you. The temp on the oven was a little high. I mean, I forgot we have commercial, not home. Like if I was at home, I could do it at 500 because it's not as hot as this conventional oven. Right. So 500 here feels like 1,000. So our broccoli is a little charred, but it's still going to eat good. Our salmon bites are cooked perfect. Our broccoli pieces, good. Our rice turned out really good. even with our fall covering. We're going to go ahead and plate this up. Fancy, you could cup the rice and all that, but we're not doing all that today. Gonna put our good coconut rice right there. Salmon bites, and look at that pretty color on it. And I didn't even need to turn them over. Like I just cooked them on one side, and that was good. So we're just gonna put those right there. And kids love this little dish too. Isabella eats this along with us whenever I make it. The broccoli, that's gonna add our color. All right there. I know. Go get your fork, because I only got one fork over here now. And then on the healthier side, I serve it with a few slices of avocado. And I just turn it to pull it off. That's a good little trick. And then to get this out is you hit it. Oh, usually just hit it and turn it. Well, that ain't working on that. So, and then we're just gonna do a few slices, kind of like drizzle it on there. I'm sauce on my rice too. That is it. So this is the finished product, and I can't wait to dive in. The coconut rice is so good.
This is delicious. Hey man, I recommend this. I recommend this meal right here. It's quick, easy, fast. You know what I'm saying? Not too much labor, and you know it's a good meal, quick meal for the family. Especially if you had a long day at work and the kids are hungry and going crazy. Hey, you could throw them together some salmon bites, some broccoli, coconut rice, and to make the day a real right.
That's a wrap.